In this video, we're going to see a powerful technique for getting data out of a web page and into a Google Sheet. So let's start with a question. I'm interested in how the number of voters in US presidential elections has changed over time. So let's look up list of United States presidential elections by popular vote margin. This looks interesting to me. So here I've got the election year and the winner's party, number of electoral votes. You can see that's grown over time. The votes that the winning candidate received, their margin. You can see that George Washington was uncontested, so he received all of the votes that year. And we have the turnout, the percent of eligible voters. So this is all nice, but I like graphs. So how can we get this into a Google Sheet? I'm going to copy this URL and come over here to the first cell in my Google Sheet. Now we're going to use a command, import HTML. Open a quotation mark and paste that URL. The syntax here is the first argument is the URL. The second is the type of field that we're querying. It can either be a list or a table. In this case, we have a table. And if there's more than one table on the page, we need to say which one it is. This will be table 1 or not. This is a footnote on the table, so I think I need to go back one. Table 0. There we go. And we have all the data now from that web page in Google Sheet form. Now we have that data. I'd like to be able to compare how the total number of votes varied over time and how the percent of eligible voters has changed over time. So let's add a new column here, total popular votes, and let's also look at total eligible voters, total number of people who could cast a vote. For total popular votes, we can calculate that pretty easily. I will say that that's equal to the number of votes cast for the winner times 2. That includes votes for the other candidate, but that other candidate received how many fewer votes? They received margin fewer votes. So it's 2 times the number of votes for the winner minus the margin. Now we want to apply that to all of the rows below. I know in the past we've clicked this little box and dragged it down. Here's a shortcut, double click that, and it applies it to the whole list of elections here. Pretty good trick. Now I'd like to know the total number of eligible voters. That's going to be the total popular votes divided by the percent of people who voted. We don't have fractional people, so let's come over here to the decrease decimal places field, decrease that to an integer, and double click to apply that down. And now we can see that we have total popular votes and total eligible voters. Let's look at the number of votes versus year here. I'm holding Control and clicking column B so that I can make a chart comparing these two things. And there I can see the variation in number of voters over time. So this will give you some powerful tools for getting graphs out of tabular data that you find on web pages.